Mate, I'm buffing my head. That's why that shiny ball-headed guy is. If only I could have seamless head buffing. Seamless. Thanks, Pedro. Boom. Oh, hello. So, this is like my Star Citizen talky, podcasty, streamy thing where we talk about the news and, well, it's a little bit of news and mostly answering questions. Don't know why I'm wearing headphones. I don't need headphones on to talk. We look at some latest footage and we'll answer all the questions and we'll look at the production reports, the schedule report stuff. And if anyone wants to ask a question, if you put question in brackets, and we'll come to questions later, so ask them, possibly don't ask them now, ask them in a minute. Because first I want to talk about the production schedule for 3.0, which got updated in an interesting way. I was really liking what they were doing with the production schedule, which was focusing on spates, kind of specific game loops. So at the moment, for the Evocati, they're working on shopping. And that's great, because that means that they fix all those bugs and they move on to the next one, which would be like missions or something, and they polish all those and get all the bugs fixed and then move on to the next main set of game loops, and then they could push that out stepped for PTU. Now, they're still sort of doing that, it's just now they've released all of the information about all the tasks and all the bugs that they've got before the game is effectively going to go to PTU. So we can see that with shopping, they've kind of given us like a... this is more of a detailed, like, what the studios have been up to, which is a lot better. This is what we sort of used to have on ATV, but just in a written form. So they talk about what they've been doing with the shopping tasks this week. They've got 20 bugs left to fix with that before they think that feature's totally ready to go for first wave PTU. Missions, they've got bugs and tasks. Now, the tasks are different because they are systems that support things that either they've identified or aren't fully finished. Now, this could be extra animations, for example, when they've done a review of Mars Eckhart. And this is actually an actual case where they've gone, oh, he needs a couple more animations to do this, or oh, this isn't working when he moves his cut from here to here, so we need to add some stuff in for that. So rather than being a bug, it's a task they need to complete. Typically, they're quite small, although there may be some that aren't. Got ships and vehicles as well as another game loop that they want to do. This week, they did stuff with getting the ship radar and the star map working together, although they need the star map more polished before they can finish that. Traversal, that's quantum travel, afterburner, moving around the verse. With that, they've got 2 bugs and 22 tasks. Thank you very much, Stevie Madman. Thank you very much for 13 months. I was always really against streaming, and well, not against streaming, but I didn't really want to do it myself. I was like, just do the YouTubes. But streaming is a great way of talking. It's great for me venting as well. I can just talk about anything that's in my head and get ideas for next videos. Maybe Glass, that includes the UI and the general interface with the game. That's got 18 bugs left, 42 tasks, and this is all specifically to get to the PTU, all these things. And then performance and stability, they're a constant get for performance and stability and optimization at max. They want as many players in as possible. They want the game running as fast as possible. They want optimized for many systems as possible. And previously, they kind of had to toe the line with stability, performance, and just getting people in. So they were like, well, fuck, we've got shitty performance, but it's stable. That's not going to be the case so much anymore going forward. They're not going to have to make that kind of concession. they're going to be able to go, well, we can have stability and performance. This is obviously going to get a lot better from 3.1 and 3.2 and pretty much every patch until release, because, well, until beta, probably. Once we start to have beta, that's going to be a significantly more polished product, but expect big gains from patch to patch. And they've moved now to the quarterly release plans as well, so expect after 3.0, every quarter, so every 3 months, them to be time releasing stuff, so they're just going to go, this is what we've got, bam. They did plan to do that a while ago, though, so take it with a pinch of salt, because they started to do that, and then they needed 3.0 out. So we had like 3 patches that had kind of done with that like last year, and then we went, well, let's have 10 months, 11 months of waiting, which is annoying, but 3.0 is going to be pretty cool, so... and at the very least, even if you're not impressed by 3.0's sort of like... because it's going to have not a lack of gameplay, but it's not a sit-down, let's play like Destiny 2 is, or the Destiny 2 hasn't got that much of a game loop, another MMO. It's not a fully fleshed out game. It's just going to be an alpha kind of showcase, a vertical slice, if you will, of some early gameplay in the universe. So think... for the typical person that's sort of interested in Star Citizen, a few dozen hours of gameplay, whereas like the hardcore fans will be able to get like probably a couple of thousand out of it, but think hundreds. The planets are pretty cool and everything, so we're going to start to be able to talk about exactly the changes in content that have happened with the Evocati builds at some point soon, because you'll be able to see, they'll go, haha, and these are all the new features and all the changes in features. Like, there's stuff that we are allowed to talk about, obviously, like second phase afterburner. That's been talked about now, so that's going to help allow you to get into position to quantum travel again, or to get to a planet quicker. There's small little quantum jumps as well, quantum travel jumps you can do to get to planets and places quicker as well. So they're really thinking about, well, it takes ages to get from planet to planet now as well, so the idea, they want to have those meaningful times and meaningful distances travelled. So you'd be travelling from Hurston, as we saw in the Gamescom demo. Let's bring it up on the screen, actually. You're travelling from ArcCorp to Hurston, for example, and it will take you 8 minutes to get there. Now, in a single-seater ship, there's not so much to do in 3.0 is the idea. But in the future, when there is more to do, and they have got all these extended travel times, it's going to be like, oh, what do I do? You're going to have your Moby Glass, you're going to be able to do stuff on there, you'll be able to view cool things on there, there's going to be a variety of apps. In ships, you can actually move around in larger ships. There's going to be TVs, render texture stuff, there's going to be other little mini-games you can do, there's going to be people to interact with, possibly. There's got lots of potential gameplay loops there, as well as general repair of your ship, trying to avoid getting quantum disrupted, which is very much going to be a thing. And they've even talked about in the latest schedule report that AI can basically find you on your quantum travel route, and I'm assuming quantum disrupt you in some way, or at least when you come out of quantum travel, that there could be pirates or something there waiting for you, which is going to be quite cool. Some extra gameplay there. But there are certainly some extra nuggets in 3.0 that we were sort of semi-unaware of, like the Saber Raven and that sort of stuff, but we'll know more soon. In regards to Squadron 42 being shown, we knew for a while that it wasn't going to be shown at CitizenCon. They are literally, the December live stream is Squadron 42. It's Squadron 42 stuff in the December live stream. There was a German magazine, in fact, called it's GameStar, German publication, who said, through dubious sources, we've discerned basically that we know there's going to be at least a 20-minute demo of Squadron 42 shown. Now, even they said it was dubious sources, so don't believe exactly what they said. Whatever, I actually expect to see a lot longer set of gameplay, at least half an hour to an hour, well, probably like half an hour to 50 minutes of vertical slice based gameplay for Squadron 42 at the December live stream. Literally a start of a mission, well, pre-mission, so you walking around your ship, then having to go to a briefing, then having to travel to the mission, then getting into your ship and actually carrying out your mission, possibly going to a station or boarding another ship, going to a planet or whatever, then getting back to your carrier, and then debriefing, and then walking around your ship again. That's the sort of gameplay I'm expecting in the December live stream, and I hope we get it. It should be pretty cool, because we know they've been putting a lot of extra work into Subsumption, and I think that's the main blocker for Squadron 42, pretty much, almost certainly is. So, might be interesting at least. Obviously, in November, between, I think, the 18th and 25th, let's have a look. Yeah, between the 17th and 24th, I believe, is when we're going to have the November live stream, which will be a big sale. They'll show off some cool stuff. It'll be a presentation-y thing. And then there'll be almost always, previous years, there have always been a big sale with like Idrises and Javelins and stuff. One of the things I'm going to try and get is, I've realised that I should try and get every major ship to do content with. So I'll try and grab an Idris, and we'll do like channel goals for donations rather than going, well, these donations are going to go on me getting drinks or new trousers. I'll say, well, let's put it straight back into the channel, that sort of stuff. That just makes sense to me. Eventually we might give them away, or we might make them, we'll make a BoredGamer org and we'll just go, fuck it, everyone can play with them in the BoredGamer org or something like that. Because there's no way I can fill however many fucking seats by myself. Because that'd be idiocy. But yeah, we'll do a social org or something. We'll talk about that later. We'll work it out. Oh, someone sent some money in. Thank you very much, Stim Citizen. Thanks for the great content, BG. Keep up the great work. I will. Finger guns. Thank you very much. Look at my shiny head. It's all shiny and bald now. My beard's growing epically. But yeah, so other than that, there were a couple of other things. The Q&A for the Pioneer came out and basically said land claims are going to be 4 by 4 kilometers large, which is a big patch of space, just to make sure that you're not too close to another citizen. Obviously, it might be cool to build stuff next to each other, though within those, like, just put land claims next to each other and that sort of stuff. Each of the modules that you'll build are around 50 meters by 50 meters by 5 meters, I think they said. So each of the individual modules are quite small that you're placing. Probably not going to be able to stack them or anything yet either. But they'll be fully functional. They'll be able to do various tasks like mining and storage and that sort of stuff. You're going to be able to build landing pads which aren't 50 by 50 meters there. They are larger, but they didn't talk about hangars or anything, although I do expect hangars. And I expect various other things that you'll be able to buy and place in your bases, including cool little turrets and radar towers and all that sort of stuff. For bases, it's probably going to be the sky's the limit for CIG when they're brainstorming and putting extra things in, and then they'll rein it back to make it sensible. So don't go too crazy with the idea of bases, but you will have fully functional industry and bases that you can hide in and that sort of stuff. Obviously, bases are persistent and all that sort of jazz. Yeah, so I was reading about November. Yeah, we'll look towards. Well, see, I already put a lot of time and effort into Special Effect, Oxfam, and No Stigma. It's always weird when moving around charities that you give to, because you're just literally just moving from one to another. But you previously calculated how much all the ships would cost, how much you probably do it quite cheaply. I don't need to have all the ships. I just need to have some of the major ships. Some of my other friends have got very specifically got like other ships. I wouldn't need all the whole series, for example, really. Maybe you should get them. I don't know. We'll do sensible ones and ones that people really want to know about first that I haven't already got. I do like I will get a Hull C, for example. That seems sensible. But do I need to get a Hull E? Like, that'd just be super overkill. Yeah, bases are going to be cool. That's why it was called the Game Changer and everything. That's why it was such a big game-changing concept, is because those ships were... The base building is an amazingly big mechanic. But yeah. There was also a interview with Chris Roberts from MCV, which basically was him talking about the community, sort of release delays, the development of the game in general, costs, and that sort of stuff. I've done a video of it. My video today was a summary of that. Some quite interesting stuff there. If people are interested, I just linked the actual full article there. That was the GameStar one. Oh my god, these are fucking amazing pictures from Alexander Belov. Let's bring these up on screen. So he's done some really, really good 4K screenshots that just... I suppose you can't see how good they are because the stream's only 1080-60. They're very good. They're very beautiful. And I'm going to get some prints made of them, I think, some of these, because they're not just high quality and everything, they're actually well shot. It's like the guy has walked around with a camera. And some of these are just absolutely astonishing. I really like the... That's pretty good. I like this one for some reason. The Kasaba best price sign. And they've put these two next to each other. Even with the step. But I think, yeah, I'll get some prints of these made and put on my wall because they're so good. But yeah, check those out. I was very impressed. Actually gonna save that. Oh, another thing, BritizenCon. So a while ago, we started me, Chris Franklin, and John LePage. Started BritizenCon. It's in Chris Franklin's very capable hands now. But it's a big fan. Oh, thank you very much, ODCN. Audition. Thank you very much for the sub, much appreciated. So BritizenCon is a big fan-led event. This time, well, next year in April 21st. It's going to be in Manchester, right by where the 142 studio is, in the Madison Blue Hotel. And it's a really good time. There should be a few hundred people there. There'll be devs there, lots of devs. Brian Chambers is going to be there, and Roberts is going to be there. And it's very much worth trying to grab a ticket and coming down. The other thing is that we do a bar citizen afterwards, which it'd be good if you had come to the BritizenCon event first, as it does take a good amount of time and effort to set up. Yeah, it's they're normally pretty good, and every year they're going to get better and better and better. So this year well, next year, as it were, and they're really pushing the boat out. So it's I think it's going to be good. This will be good. So check that out. I will blah 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 blah. Let's do that. Are they going to have larger than Eve space battles with AI, with container server tech? Is it possible? So Eve, I don't think you could ever get a battle as big as Eve, in the way the Star Citizen wants to do. I mean, Eve battles can be like tens of thousands of players, yeah. So it could potentially have that with AI, but I think that even then, it's the high fidelity of stuff and the amount of ships going around would be just insane. They have time dilation in Eve, whereas Star Citizen wouldn't. So think hundreds of players in a fight, potentially thousands if you count the NPCs on the ships and players on like capital ships and stuff. I'm not convinced by having tens of thousands of players in a small area fighting. I don't think that would happen either. I think the battles would be relatively quick compared to Eve's, which could last a day because of time dilation. But they're going to be big. They're going to be cool. And they're going to be very high quality. Fidelity. But feel free to chuck in questions in brackets if you want to ask a question, guys. I'm going to start answering them in a second. People really want Polaris t-shirts. They've gone on sale again. There's the Q&A for the thingamajig, the Pioneer. There's some stuff that this is cool as well. So this is the latest ship comparison chart, because some of the ships have grown in size. The Javelin is massive. The Pioneer's pretty big. I always like these. I think these are cool. These comparison of the ship sizes, so you can see how big everything is. And they get updated very regularly by ITO and Sebman. So these are pretty cool. What else we got? Oh, the ship's matrix. So the ship's matrix has been updated now. Okay, so there's a few little errors in it, but there's a lot of changes in the ship's matrix, and some ships are just different. So for example, now the Aurora MR and the Mustang. Pretty much in every case at the moment, I'm preferring the Mustang, because they've both effectively got room for 4 size 1 weapons. The Aurora does come with does have the ability for missiles, but they can both take cargo now, and the Mustang comes with a little cargo pod now. And I'm as a starter ship, if I had to make a choice, yeah, I think the missiles are cool, but they're probably going to be expensive to replace. The speed addition to the Mustang and the new Mustang looking pretty cool is a kicker for me, and I'm going to go I'm gonna go Mustang Alpha. I think that's my preferred starting ship. But like the ships, a few of them had a good change around, like Super Hornets and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much, the Serenity. I can't say your name. I literally will be gurning if I try and say your name. Some of the text bounces on my screen and stuff. I'm dyslexic. Leave me alone. But the Reliant Core is quite competitive. It's got 2 size 1s, but it's also got a size 3 hardpoint. Not a fan of the Reliant, personally. The Gladius now, though, 3 size 3 hardpoints, and as standard comes with gimbaled size 2 on all of them. And it's got loads of missiles as well and stuff. So the Gladius is a beast now. I suppose it should be. It's supposed to be like a light military combat fighter, so it's pretty cool. The Hornets kind of feel like they've had a nerf by making their front turret proprietary. So it can, I believe it can only use 2 size 1s on the front. Though that might change. The same as the bull turret. The bull turret has to have 2 size 2s. So you've got 2 size 3s on the wings, 2 size 2s on the bull turret, 2 size 1s on the nose now. It just feels like a nerf to me. Although you might be able to change out some of those turrets for other turrets now. Sabre, pretty much the same. But yeah, there's been some interesting changes. We will go through all of that. We will talk about all the ships and look at all the ships individually, because yeah, they've changed around. I will link the ship matrix again here. I'll leave that up, actually. Twitter. Get rid of that. Yeah, so questions. If you've got a question about Star Citizen, or about anything we talked about, or about live streams, or sales, or whatever, really, in question, in brackets. Question, and then whatever. Somebody with a Scandinavian name send board 500. I mean, I'm up for receiving $500. That's good, thanks. Just want to correct some misinformation about Britton Watkins. He only worked on the Klingon language for Star Trek Into Darkness. He did not create the language. It was Mark Okrand and James Scotty Doohan that created the Klingon language. Thank you very much. That's a good bit of information. I did not know that. I know he worked with the Klingon and understands Klingon, Britton Watkins. I thought he was he constructed the language as well with those guys. Thank you very much. I will do some more research as well. So normally I'm relatively researched up about stuff. But with Britton Watkins, I'm not. But the Xi'an stuff is interesting. It's at the moment I'm waiting for there's a bit more flesh to it before I start looking at it a bit more. Also, I'm terrible with languages, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be learning Xi'an, but I'll certainly do a little bit of it. Do you think there will be hacking in Star Citizen? Yes, there will be hacking. There will be electronic warfare. In 3.0, it's very simple, locking your ship and then blowing the doors up. In the future, there will be hacking through security, hacking through doors. There's going to be like hacking missiles and stuff like that they foresee. So we're not exactly sure what forms of hacking there'll be, but there will be some. How do you feel about how much longer it's going to take before the PT release proper? So with the new schedule reports, I'm still thinking that we might get a first wave PT release between 5 and 6 weeks. I think that it's going to be full, engines to full. There's no more super presentations that you have to get ready for in the same way that Gamescom and CitizenCon, and so they can literally just be nose to the grindstone, whatever the terminology, phrase, or whatever is, all the way to Christmas. And I suspect there was going to be a lot of extra overtime put in to try and get as much out as possible. I would expect to see the PTU by Christmas, but obviously I'm not CIG, so you can't hold me to that. Or you can't hold them to that anyway. You can hold me to it and go, you all said. Oh, yes, I did say. I apologise if I'm wrong. Hey, Bored, I asked you for some Keynote demo footage a few days ago, but you didn't reply after you asked what footage I wanted exactly. Sorry, message me again. And I'll send you what I can. What do you think about... Oh, are you asking... All my footage comes from... either in-game footage I've done myself, in-game footage that's directly from my friends, or directly from CIG. I upscale and stuff. So this is my, for example, this is my gameplay cut of the CitizenCon demo. It's just me upscaling it. It's That's why it looks a bit better than the CIG actual version.
I couldn't choose a sound.
What do you think about not being able to spawn at your Pioneer base? So, I am thinking that they might change some pieces. Like, I do suspect that you'll probably be able to build like a medical bay there, spawn there. And what you're talking about not being able to spawn. So the Q&A said not be able to spawn there, but why would you spawn there? And you talk about if you die, you'd spawn there. That sort of stuff. Like, in the short term, it's all persistent, so you could log out there and then log back in there. So I don't think it's an issue, basically, that's what I'm saying. Will I be able to update my Mustang Alpha to Beta/Delta using modules? No. Because the Mustang Beta and Delta are variants. Then they're entirely different variants. The hulls are different. But you'll be able to make them similar. I say similar. You're not going to be able to put the bed or anything, so you can't make it like the Beta. And you can't make it like the Delta, because the Delta's got... No, you can't make it like them. I suppose what I'm saying as well with it not being able to spawn an outpost is, like, the idea is when you die in space, typically, you might be found by a random, someone coming to investigate you, like a hospital ship, or just a search and rescue team, or just a random passing trader or whatever. They wouldn't know where your base was to take you back there. But if your teammates come and find you anyway, they'll be able to revive you or take you back to your base, I suppose, so you don't have to worry about respawning if that's the case. When I think the full game is going to be released, don't know. I feel that there's it's an optimistic possibility that there will be a Star Citizen beta by the end of 2019. So, in regards to Squadron 42 and its release date, Andy Serkis let slip on radio that it should be out in 2018. I think a lot of us are expecting it out in 2018. I was expecting it out in 2016, at the end of 2016, so I'm not the best person to talk to about dates. But yeah, it's extremely likely it will be out in 2018. And we'll see in the December live stream that it gets... Squadron 42 stuff will be updated on the schedule report, so we'll be able to see in a lot more detail. So you don't have much longer to wait to see when it's going to be out. Is the new Mustang rework for the original or the New Year model? It's for the original, I believe. The Mustang is being reworked. It's not going to be this massive rework, but it's going to be a light model rework, uptails update, that sort of stuff. Will there be better optimization in 3.0? That's the idea. Better support for more cores, and they've done some better stuff with physics on the CPUs and stuff. General optimizations and performance gains. And going on from there, they're going to try and make it support as many CPU threads as possible in the future. What would you do to keep your ship safe from anybody else trying to steal it in the up-and-coming Alpha 3.0? You can lock your ship, except your doors can now be blown off. So you can lock your external doors, but someone can still breach you. It's going to be interesting breaching gameplay. Also, just checking your ship after you've... once you've got into it and stuff, having some people on the security, just being aware. I mean, it's going to be quite a large area. And if you're on a mission, that's when you need to be more aware, because counter missions might be taken by other players. And that's when you need to be more aware of people potentially breaching into your ship, I suppose. Or if you're in outlaw zones, like landing around Grimhex and stuff.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Are you picking... hello, Bloodraven. Thank you very much for the sub. You're a star, thank you. Are you thinking of picking up anything for this year's anniversary/holiday sale? Probably the Idris. Get funded for an Idris, or if I could pick up an Idris. I'll probably be upgrading one of my ships to a Vanguard Sentinel. That sort of stuff. There's a few little bits and bobs that I'll do to make sure my hangar has got all the ships that I like OCD think about content with. The Sentinel, it's a E-warship or an EMP fighter or something. I don't know how to describe it, but it's something I very much want to get into and have a good set of videos on explaining E-war and like EMPs and lots of stuff. How big will a living module be? Will I be able to build them a secret base somewhere? Yeah. You'll be able to carry them in your Pioneer and drop them as part of the thing. You'll be able to build a secret base somewhere. And people always be able to find it though. What do you think about the Cutlass Black as a starter ship? Well, it's a slightly beyond a starter ship. I think it's going to be a good starting ship. It's not a starter ship in the same way that the Aurora or the Mustang is. If you see what I mean, like you're going to be able to do a lot more. The Cutlass Black's a lot more powerful. It's a lot larger. It's multi-crew. I think that would be great to start with. Yeah, very powerful ship. Will all NPCs in the PE be voiced? Yes. So you'll get different types of missions. Some missions will be entirely text-based, but that's because you're not interacting with an NPC. Some will be audio-based. Some will be Miles Eckhart. You meet them and talk to them with subsumption fully. Now, there's going to be a lot of missions that are blocked together from a lot of different parts of that. So you'll have bits of text, bits of audio, bits of meeting NPCs, lots of stuff. But yes, there's no NPC you're going to walk up to and just a wall of text appears. You might have some extra text sent to you, like Miles Eckhart will go, let me send the data of this mission to your data pad, and it will go beep, and it will come up on your Mobi-Glass, and he'll just be looking at you while you're reviewing it. That sort of thing. That sort of stuff might happen, but there's not going to be this NPC is talking to me via text, or his mouth moves, nothing like that. It's all going to be voiced. I don't know if I need to upgrade from the Cutlass Black or keep the ship something with cargo and flight capabilities. I would say keep hold of any ship until you're able to test the new one. There's no point in upgrading before you've tested the new Cutlass Black. But Star Citizen will inevitably have more players than Eve. Well, hopefully and potentially, yes. It's doubtful, though, that all those players will congregate in the same place in a similar style. One of the reasons that Eve's battles were so big was because of time dilation, where they slowed down the area to like 1/100th of fucking a second or whatever, so it's super slow, and so more and more people would turn up and fight. So I think in Star Citizen probably a lot more quicker battles. That's my expectation anyway. One of the things is I don't actually know. These are things that I doubt hundreds of thousands of players will be in the same system at the same time. I suspect they'll be in lots of different systems constantly. Potentially in the starting systems you could have hundreds of thousands of people, but they probably wouldn't be that size of battles there. There would just be lots of small skirmishes, and space is pretty fucking huge in each of those places. So it probably it needs to be kept in mind. But I don't think you'll get that sort of size, hundreds of thousands of players fighting ever. Nor do I think it's actually possible to the fidelity that Star Citizen wants at the moment. Has it been confirmed that Concierge will get first wave PTU? It's been suggested from messages that I've seen on chat. So we'll get you. I think devs or Silo or someone said we will get you into the PTU as early as possible to Concierge. So I think that implies first wave. The Terrapin seems to be straying away from its original concept promises. Have you heard anything to justify its £200 price tag? And what changes do you expect to see when it drops in 3.1? I don't know. It obviously looks a bit bigger, doesn't it? Because we saw it in this footage that's on screen. We just saw the externals of it, though. Obviously, I don't think the internals are done or anything. I don't know, to be honest, with the Terrapin. It's something we'll have to ask CIG about. So actually, just let me have a quick check to see. Ships Matrix Aru. Let's go and check it. Bear with me, guys. And girls. Terra. Specs. So it's grown a bit. And got a size 2 utility mount, which I think they said that could be replaced, so you could put like tractor beams and stuff like that on it as well. But it's a scanny ship. I was hoping that it would be able to carry like a tumbrel buggy or something underneath. But we'll have to wait and see, I suppose, with that one. I don't actually know too much about it. Normally, I'm pretty informed, but with the changes so recent on the Ships Matrix and them doing CitizenCon and Gamescom, I'm not into they haven't been talking about it too much, so I will ask. And what else we got? You think that this game will be too big for most people? No, I think it'll be fine. I think a lot of people will congregate and do what their mates and guilds do, and what their organisations do. And I think that there might be a little bit lack of understanding the scope of what you can do, because there's just so much that you can do in the words the places so big. Major Winters, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Fucking love your face. But yeah, I think that the scope of the game is obviously quite hard to digest. So there'll be a lot of people that don't really understand what they can do, even after a while of playing. But that's, I suppose, the same as any game. Yeah. I've got the 325A and $15 spare. What would be a good solo person ship to get? I mean, the 325A is pretty good. 325A for combat. Avenger Titan is pretty multi-role. They became effectively backwards slightly. The Gladius now looks pretty sexy. There's lots of potential there. I got the new Ryzen 7 1700. Yeah, that should be okay for Star Citizen. Yeah, it's graphics card more orientated than CPU. As we go forward, it'll be more GPU orientated. But obviously, as we go forward as well, the more cores you have, the more threads you have in your CPU, the better, I suppose. But yeah, I think go the GPU route. The more powerful the GPU, the better. When will the 890 jump be ready? 2018 at some point. I think mid 2018 is the plan. Expect 2018 to be the year of the ships in general. Let me just bring up this grapharoo. Constellation Phoenix, Freelancer Max, Banner Merchantman. Banner Merchantman mid 2018 is the plan. Carrack, mid to late 2018. 890 jump. End of March is the expectation, but think mid 2018. But loads of ships are going to be done in 2018, basically. So that's the plan, anyway. Will the Mustang rework be in 3.0? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Mustang's been made fully like 2.0 ready and all that sort of jazz. I'm not sure if the actual rework was going to go into 3.0. It depends whether it is ready when 3.0 goes live, basically. I honestly think that we'll see 5 to 6 weeks before PTU, the first wave PTU for 3.0. I mean, I could be entirely wrong, but that's what I think. That's what the aim and that they're going to try and get it ready for Christmas. Basically, they're going to be sprinting to get it ready for Christmas if they can. I don't mind people asking the same question again if they haven't heard. That's all good. If I have to say it 1,000 times, then I'll go. Rah, rah, rah. Which ships do you think will be better for bounty hunting? The Avenger Stalker or the Cutlass Blue? Oh, probably the Cutlass Blue. Just because it's a larger version of a bounty hunting ship. But the Avenger Stalker is going to be pretty good as well. No, there's going to be some changes to the Cutlass Blue, because there's obviously changes to the Cutlass Black and the Cutlass series. So it's probably worth waiting to see that change before jumping in if you're choosing between them. You could obviously just start with the Stalker and then upgrade to a Blue if you wanted in the future. We've heard nothing about the remaining 9 moons of Standard System. Do you think they will be released together with the planet they belong to? Yeah, I think they'll probably be released with the planet. So whether it's Hurston, Crusader, ArcCorp, whatever, they'll probably almost certainly be released with them. The biomes and the planets they're doing and all the tools they've created, they've now pretty much they've got a much quicker, faster way of procedure generating these worlds and then kind of finishing them off modularly or with a little flourish from the artists. So yeah, I think that 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 going up to 4.0, we should see the whole standard system with these quite beautifully fleshed out, quite content-rich planets and moons from like 3.1 onwards. And I think with 3.0, we're going to get quite a lot of content, but it's not going to feel content-rich when you're on the planets. The planets are going to be relatively bare because they're fucking huge. There's going to be missions, and there's going to be cool stuff to find on them. There's going to be cool exploration, like, oh wow, this mountain's cool. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. But it's not going to be content-rich as it will be in the future. So the Reclaimer is flyable in the dev branch of the game at the moment. They basically said that it's not going to be in 3.0. It could still potentially be in 3.0. It's just very unlikely. It's the sort of ship that would need a load of extra testing. But depending on when 3.0 launches, it's a possibility. I don't know about the actual blue. I'm not sure when it is on the schedule. I thought it had already been reworked. It may be awaiting rework. It's potentially been finished. The Cutlass Blue and the Cutlass Red. I will link you that timeline again, so you can have a look. They're certainly not perfectly accurate. So you probably want to be looking past SLI for Star Citizen. And like for Vulkan support and multi-GPU support that's split frame rendering and stuff like that rather than SLI. I'm not sure if 3.0 has SLI support. I don't know. I'll find out. The 300 series is being reworked. That's all I know about that rework. Nothing more than is public. Any idea when the room system for hangars will be pushed out? No, but it's all the subsystems and everything like that are ready. So I don't know when that's going to go live. It probably when for hangars and stuff and customization of hangars, probably when they merge all the modules together. So think 3.1, 3.2 sort of thing. I will link those 4K screenshots again, of course. Bear with me. They were really fucking good. Those are those bad boys. Yeah, I think you can only really appreciate them on a 4K monitor, really. The 890 jump has been in development since March 2017. Are you a wood trim guy or a no wood trim guy? I think I'm a wood trim guy. I'd like to see my options, though. I'm enjoying the stuff they've shown us for NDA.
I couldn't choose a sound for being hosted, so I decided to use
Thank you very much, cheeseburgers. A cheeseburger. We got a 4 in your name. Why? Thank you for the host. Do you think Q1 to Q2 2019 is a fair time frame for the Stanton content? Yeah. Why the fuck not? I think it actually might be earlier than that, but I think that's a fair time frame. Will there be excessive gas giant planet fuel collecting fees? Don't know. We do know we're going to be able to do gas collection in the Starfarer and possibly some other ships, gas mining, and we're not 100% sure how that mechanic's going to work at all. So, or even 10% sure how that mechanic's going to work at all, really. Once 4.0 drops, what is the expected jump time between systems? We don't know. We're going to see a lot more of the expanded roadmap, I think, in December, when they update the schedule reports. So we should see a lot more of exactly what's going in before Star Citizen's release. That's the hope, anyway. When Star Citizen go live, will real-life society collapse with everyone playing Star Citizen all the time? No, because I don't think that many people will play Star Citizen. I mean, it'll be a big game. It'll be a big online game. But it probably won't hit the same sort of numbers that Call of Duty hit and stuff like that. So it's going to be a pretty fucking big thing. Will we see the full release of the PU 3.0 this year? That's the hope. Yeah. I mean, oh no, PT. Well, it's very unlikely to get a live build for 3.0 this year now. But first wave PTU or deeper into PTU, so that more, if not all people can play it. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. You think there will be CCU to capital ships coming this sale? No, I don't think they will do CCU to capital ships. I'll have to melt to buy capital ships. But capital ships that are $1,000 plus will always come with lifetime insurance. Polaris and Pioneer or Idris P? It depends how many people we've got available, but probably in almost all situations, Polaris and Pioneer. That's what I'd go for. I don't think they allow CCUs for capitals. I don't think they're a thing. Do you think the red and blue has shields swapped accidentally in the ship matrix? There are certainly some issues with the ship matrix. I'm expecting the blue, the cutlass blue, to have more powerful shields and be more tanky. The Super Hornet's still a superiority fighter, yes. And a bruiser. Need to start Citizen and getting to grips with what the game's all about. Is the persistent universe going to be mainly for people playing in groups? No, you can play solo. I just would suggest that org and group play is going to be a lot more fun. And you don't have to have friends online, Tom. You can literally find an org you want to join and make some friends or make some org mates. And I do a series called Org Spotlight, which we'll be doing every week or every 2 weeks, focusing on orgs. But go on the CIG website, have a look for an org that you like. There's some fucking massive ones like Test. There's some smaller ones. You want to find the gameplay style that works for you, for your org, and jump in there. Do you think the Vanguard would be a good daily driver? Yeah, I think the Vanguard's going to be a very good mid to long range fighter. It's going to have a lot of purposes. When do you think we'll see the 600 Iron game? Potentially in 2018, probably later 2018. Can the standard Hornet still mount the ball turret? Yes, I believe it can. It's got a... Oh, that's a good point. Because... Oh. The standard Hornet might not be able to mount the ball turret anymore. Because it's got a utility item there instead. And the utility mount is probably different. Although that mount might be able to take utility or ball turret. Where's the Super Hornet? Let's have a look. Yeah, so the Super Hornet's actually got that ball mount there, and the normal Hornet has a utility mount there instead. So I don't know. Potentially it could. I'll find out. Yeah, so basically they've said that those utility hardpoints should be utility hardpoints and aren't weapon hardpoints. So I'm thinking that maybe the standard Hornet can't have that ball mount anymore. So all the tasks in the schedule report, them to be completed would mean it would go to the PTU. That's where they would like to see it before it goes to PTU. It's possible stuff will change. I do suspect to see all of those bugs come down quite a lot now because that's like all the engines go on them. With persistence, will my ship just float there when I log off? Not in 3.0. Your ship will basically log off with you, but when you log back in, it will log back in with you. Eventually, when the game's released, it would do with beds. So if all your crew are asleep in a bed, your ship will log off safely and basically despawn when you log off. That's the idea. 3.0 is with bugs. Many bugs. Question. Okay. Schedule has all freelancers done by now 3.0 or... No, so don't expect all the freelancers done by 3.0. Expect them later. All we know that we're getting for 3.0 is the Saber Raven now, as well as the Nox, the Urza Rover, the Dragonfly, the Prospector, the Constellation Aquila. Is that all of them? The Cutlass Black rework and the Aurora rework. Potentially more, but those are the only ones that were confirmed. So some people think the Razor, because we saw the Razor in the demo. Pretty sure the Razor's done. The Razor's actually there. Was that a different ship? Probably a different ship. Potentially could have the Mustang rework in. As unpolished and empty as it probably is right now, is 3.0 content as it currently stands in Evo interesting? I would say that any Evocati patch is interesting. I can't talk about the more specific than that, unfortunately. Sorry. Do you think we'll eventually get larger player bases? we're definitely going to get lots of different land vehicles. I'm not sure what we're going to be able to manufacture ourselves as players in the game. Possibly ammo, possibly fuel, stuff like that. We're definitely about to build large bases. We'll be able to expand them out, and they'll probably keep on adding to the bases so that we can build more complex bases. KW0311, you fucking legend. Thank you so much for the donation. Good day, mate. Do you think all the ships will be available for purchase during the anniversary sale? I think a significant portion, if not all of them, will be. There'll be some ships which are not available, like the Scythe. What other, like, ships they've said that were only going to be on sale once? Probably not the Pioneer, for example. That will probably not going to be on sale. Things like that. Potentially we'll have a few Idris and a few Javelins on sale. Is apartments replacing hangars or the same thing? I think they're different things. I don't think they're replacing each other. The expectation is that in some of the city planets and stuff that you'll be able to rent apartments for yourself, like a little player home, and hangars will be places that you keep your ship, but it also will allow some form of customization as well. If you park your ship on a planet and then leave it and log off, will your ship disappear until you log on? In 3.0, yes. They will log out with you. In the future, if you go to sleep in your ship, then your ship will log out with you. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like my beard on my upside down head. No, the X1 shouldn't be completed for 3.0. I mean, yeah, we didn't see the internals of the Terrapin, so I'm not expecting it in 3.0 either. Oh, fuck the Reliance, man. I'm not a fan of the Reliance at the moment. We'll have a look at them once they've been, because effectively every ship's been reworked for 3.0, because it's not been necessarily worked, but rebalanced, and item system 2.0 has been there, so they've been made working as appropriate as they're supposed to. Thank you very much, Cheeseburger, or whatever I thought he was earlier. Thank you very much for the sub, much appreciated. So yeah, all ships have been made ready for that. Actually, some other ships have had a bit of a rework. The Gladius, sort of changing the cockpit stuff and the change the way it looks. The Sabre and stuff has had its cockpit redone as has the Vanguard. So there's lots of ships have received a bit of a rework. When we talk about reworks, lots of ships don't receive these massive reworks that the Cutlass Black and stuff did. A lot of them are just very light touch-ups, materials updates. They don't take long at all, and they do make quite a lot of difference. How Gladius do you think Gladius is for Gladius? Pretty Gladius, actually. Do you think the Cutlass Black will go up in price? If so, how much? Yeah, so ships, when they become flyable, so when they come out from concept to actually being flyable, they will go up in price. Now, the Cutlass Black is a little bit of a unique one.
Really appreciate your content. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, DNA 1000. Very much fucking appreciated. Love your face. You're a star. I will try and keep up the good work. So ships, when they become flyable, they typically will go up in price if you wanted to buy them with real life money before the game's released. With the Cutlass Black, it's kind of a special case because it was reworked. It was a ship that went, this isn't really hitting the mark. We need to redefine and rework it. And it still looks like the Cutlass Black, but it's a lot cooler and it's a lot more defined in its role now. But I am expecting it to go up by $25 once it's released in 3.0. This sale in November is probably the last time you're going to be able to get a lot of these ships at these prices. That said, you'll be able to get everything in-game, and if you have to go, should I get this ship or not, don't get it. Upgrade hardware on your computer. You'll get significantly more happy and more use out of that. You'll be able to get everything in-game, skipping ahead in gameplay. By buying some of these ships, it just isn't going to be worth it, and you can jump into other people's organisations and crew and borrow their ships. Have a friend with ships and that sort of stuff, so there's lots of potential to have to use and get these ships straight away if you wanted to and were desperate to, but working to get them is going to be fucking great for some people anyway. I know that's very hypocritical and easy for me to say when I go, my channel's about it, I can get people to buy me them, haha, that sort of stuff, but you know what I mean. Do you think the Cutlass Black will go up in price? Yeah, that's what we just read. When do you think we'll be able to play the game without buying a ship? 3.1. Oh, do you mean like no starter ship? I think you're always going to have a starter ship. I don't know. But in 3.1, you're going to be able to buy ships in-game with Alpha UEC. There is fireworks fucking going off outside my house. I won't stay online for too long because it is bonfire night in the UK. and that is annoying me. I would like a base that can retract into the land itself for a very secure bunker. It's potentially in the future they might do some cool little groundy hidey bases, maybe. How this sounds not that bad for the fireworks. How do you think the reputation system will work in game? It's too early to tell, really. I think there'll be NPCs that have reputation with you, factions, and races that have factions with you, that have reputation with you. That will affect prices, that will affect missions they give you, and that will affect stock that you have are able to see and use, and probably connections and a little bit of extra information given based on your reputation, and will also make people attack you on sight, be hostile towards you, and that sort of stuff. That's the simplicity of the reputation system. I have no fucking clue how it's actually going to work in practice yet, because I don't think CIG 100% know. Will the hangar doors ever open so we can fly our ships out of them? I think that's the plan, actually, now. They can do some clevery stuff with, like, fake elevators and things. So, yeah, potentially, yeah. We should see AI turrets as well, yes. What planetary bodies can we expect to land on in 3.0? Yela, Selin, Daymar, that's the moons. That we've seen, as well as Delamar, which is the more rocky Levski planetoid, as a big asteroid. But that's what you can expect to land on in 3.0, astral body-wise. The X1 loner, I'm almost 100% sure is the Nox. Yeah, they're not reworks, they're iterations, they're the light updates. They're just standard updates. Yeah, you can land wherever you want in 3.0 on the moons. Yep. Which controller setup would you recommend for Star Citizen and currently for the upcoming 3.0? It's too early to say exactly what would be best for release. For 3.0, I just say simpler is better at the moment. Like, mouse and keyboard for me works, although I prefer mouse and throttle. That gives me the best medium. But mouse and keyboard is just golden oldie, nice and simple until you know exactly what you want to do. Mining is in 3.1, yes. I think we kind of expected the changes to the Battlefield upgrade kit system for the Vanguard series. So basically, Battlefield upgrade kits, or BUKs, are now just a selection of gear in a bundle that you can put onto a ship. It doesn't allow you to modularly change the hull variants anymore, because the Vanguard series are all different hull variants. That was the idea originally, but now, I think now they're bastardizing them so that all of the modules in the center can be swapped out for another module, but that doesn't change the exterior hull, so they're all still their own unique hulls and variants, but they still have modular changes in. So just got a bit confused. It's one of the annoying things that they have, like legacy systems and the newer systems mixing. I have bought an Octane drive. I was expecting it to get it this weekend. It's coming on November 11th now. I've bought, because of the computer I've got a riser cable. So it's arrived. I had to buy another riser cable because the one I originally bought hadn't arrived, and then I bought this one on next day delivery, expecting to get the Octane drive. But if anyone wants to give me another Raven, you're more than welcome though. But to know, I will have a Raven. And we'll talk about the Raven as well once I've been able to play with it. And we will talk about it in a shipwise guide before that, probably. Tough question, but what will you actually do in the game? Are there careers? Yeah, so it means open sandbox, but it's there's PvP and PvE, there's industry, there's mining, there's loads of stuff. There's fucking billion different roles. Bounty hunting and all that sort of jazz. Multi-crew stuff with your friends, doing billions of different types of mission. But yeah, it's very Eve in the types of mission you can do, but much more in depth and hands-on with each of those things, because you're not your ship in Star Citizen, you are a person in that ship that can leave that chair when you want to. So lots of first-person shooter stuff. I think there is going to be the ability to farm in the future on your land. 3.0 is currently out to the Evocati, which are a small group of 800 non-CIG testers. People like me, in fact, me. So what is there in 3.0 other than landing on planets? There's the mission system now, so there's lots more missions to do, and they're modular and slightly randomized every time. There's NPCs running around. There's interactions with those NPCs where they look at you as the early subsumption stuff. Obviously, the planetary landing exploration, atmospheric flight with that. A load more ships, item system 2.0's there, so items between ships communicate better, so they're actually taking power from your systems and going to your weapons and all that sort of jazz. There's actually quite a lot. But in terms of tangible gameplay, other than the missions and the exploration on planets and the new ships and trade and cargo, I suppose that's the other big one, isn't it? It's you'll be able to full cargo bay full of items and loot, and sell it at different places. You're also able to pick up boxes and loot that you find, put it in your cargo hold and sell them. There'll be pirates that attack you for that loot, other player pirates that attack you for that loot. Lots of counter missions with spawning and stuff. But other than that, there's not that much in the way of other game loops. So a good amount of gameplay, but not a beta yet. It's still alpha. Tractor beams, do you expect you could tractor a ship? I don't think you can tractor ships unless they're very, very small and no longer on, or if they're disabled. But I think that tractor beams are typically for grabbing like bits of things, or asteroids, and salvage and scrap and stuff. Potentially players as well, I suppose. I mean, for some people, in certain game loops, I do expect them to get bored, because you get bored and things. With the full games out, the potential for boredom is less, but there's always the chance for boredom in your whatever task or whatever game loop you're doing. When I say game loop, if you're a trader and you're literally going, I make a fuck ton of UEC by doing this trade route from here to here to here. I go around in a fucking circle. Shh. That's boring. You could do it for like 12 hours a day. Yeah, you've got the potential of getting attacked by pirates, but if you're doing it in safe systems or really carefully, or with escorts, less chance. So, always the potential. Do you think we'll see more flight mechanic changes? Yes, I very much expect that we will keep on getting flight mechanic iterations. Currently, the line of the 600i is the Constellation Andromeda. Yeah, that's almost certainly going to become the Aquila. I would expect, anyway. Obtain drive delivery is as consistent as 3.0 release dates. Lol. That's true. The 3.0 release dates, they try not to give release dates anymore, but they give the internal schedule stuff, so yeah, they've definitely been delayed on the expectations for that still. Fuck the space rail, man. Yes, I probably will ride it. I've done some videos on building very cheap gaming PCs, $300 PCs and stuff like that. We're going to be doing some stuff for that for 3.0 when it comes out, looking at the latest hardware, where you get diminishing returns, how to build the cheapest PC, how to build a fucking amazing PC, and all that sort of stuff, and what's overkill, what's not. So yeah, potentially do a how to build a PC, but there's so many other videos that do that, the actual building. So. Which ship would you recommend as a starter package? The Mustang Alpha now. Boom, Mustang Alpha. Getting more involved with Star Citizen. Is it worth submitting bugs to the issue council? Yes, get involved, submit bugs, help prioritize bugs, talk about bugs, all that sort of stuff. It get you more likely to get in an earlier wave of PTU, and more likely to get chosen for Evocati. And you become part of the community, and you get used to submitting bugs, so it becomes more routine. Thank you very much for the awesome beard comments. How do you select orgs to spotlight? No. So, more precisely, at the moment, I'm looking at orgs that are going to be active either now, well, in 3.0, and now in 3.0 as well. So, it's called if they're active now, but specifically looking at gameplay loops in 3.0, so ones that are going to be able to do cargo, ones that are going to be doing bounty hunting, ones that are going to be doing piracy, ones that are going to be doing certain types of missions and that sort of stuff, and then I will be going for a range of different orgs suitable for different players' needs. That's the idea. I want to get those orgs the right players, I want to find players the right orgs for them. If you go and to submit your org for that, if you go into my Discord, there is a thread on my Discord, which is Org Spotlight, which you can just dump your org info in, and I will review it Well, I will review some of it. I have mods that will literally help me pick out things. Go, I think you should do this one. This is a good idea. Cool. I like my icon and logo. How rude! Have you heard of any changes to the Caterpillar with 3.0? Only that it's item system 2.0 ready. Do you know when the next anniversary sale is going to be? Yeah, sometime in November. So I'm expecting it between the 14th, the 17th and the 24th. For me, it's definitely going to be the game, Star Citizen. It's I love it at the moment. It's just getting more and more, and it's getting closer and closer. Yeah, I love following it. I love the community. And a lot of the games are made by the community, and I love the community. But I think it's going to be a lot of fucking amazing gameplay there. Tactical Potato, props to you for answering all these questions, and the exact same question over and over again. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Maybe I need an FAQ that comes up, I think, in the chat. Have they ever elaborated on how base building is instanced in the PU? It won't be instanced. The plan is for it not to be instanced. You will need protecting your base building stuff. That will be protected. They're able to be looted. They're able to be attacked. Even if you're offline. What features are you most excited about that haven't been released yet? Base building, capital ship gameplay. I want to be able to be in massive capital ship battles and board those capital ships while they're disabled. That kind of ship capture is fucking amazing to me. But the economy stuff, so any form of industry, is super important as well. Being able to trade, but more mining, and actually that mining affecting the economy by those resources being used to build ships and stuff. It's there's lots I'm waiting for. Currently, getting more. Yeah. Do you think the Carrack will be able to hold 2 Cyclones in the garage? Potentially. We won't know until they're both fully built out. The Cyclone and the Carrack. Do you expect for someone with an FX 8350 will see performance increase or decrease in 3.0? It's supposed to, in 3.0, be better for lower end systems as well. So, potentially a increase. Any word on the store containers for the Auroras? No. I don't know yet. I know they've been working on that, so I'm expecting it in 3.0, but I'm not sure. It's certainly not confirmed. When reporting a bug, you need to have a computer profile. What is the graphics memory and system memory, and how do we find the stats? If you type in dxdag and then copy the profile over, I think it fills it all out for you. Yeah, Lenny Obez has answered you. What is the likelihood of Slenderman character model bug making an appearance aboard Derelicts? We'll certainly see some interesting like xenomorph-esque things happening and like horror-esque things. Well, that's the intention anyway in future gameplay for Derelicts and stuff. When you liquidate your game package into store credit, is it how much you paid or how much it's currently worth? It's how much you paid. If you upgrade a package, it's upgrading for how much the ship is currently worth. Any more questions? Which ship do you think will give you more gameplay, the Carrack or the Starfarer? That's an interesting question. It depends on what kind of player you are. If you want to farm and mine, the Starfarer, almost certainly. But for me, I think I kind of like both, but the Carrack. I think the Carrack is going to have more gameplay. It's got the snub, the Pisces, and the ground vehicle on. It's going to be able to do mapping. It's going to be able to do various forms of exploration. And when I say exploration isn't fully defined yet by CIG, but I actually think this also is to do with the land claim mechanics, which will be looking at what resources, prospecting basically, for what resources are in certain areas, scouting out areas for bases, finding interesting things to loot, interesting anomalies and interesting areas that you'll go, oh, this is in a similar way that you'd scan down stuff in EVE for, oh, let's go run this little area. You could find like pirate bases and stuff with it, but you could also find anomalies, you could also find derelicts. Lots of stuff is going to be done with that exploration mechanic now. And I suspect that the Carrack's going to be top tier for that. whether that be on planet or in space. It's been a couple of months since I looked at the weapon and component sizes. Have they changed a bit? Yes. And you can go and get an understanding of them. They've updated the ship's matrix stuff. I've done a series of videos about it, but let me link you. Ship matrix. Here you go. That's if you go to the bottom of there, start from the top one. Basically, the shipyard goes over all of the explanation of the new ship matrix and goes over all of what the variants and modules and sizes and everything. It talks about all of that in a good overview detail. Is the Avenger Stalker worth the price over the Titan? I'd go for the Titan personally, and then upgrade it later. They're modular, so you can always upgrade it with just the pod. Sheep Squad, thank you very much for the thingamajig. Fuck you, fireworks! For this the sub. Thank you for the sub. I can't words. Will the Urza rover fit in the constellation Taurus? I believe so. Yes. If there was one thing you'd like to see at BritizenCon 2018, what would it be? I'd actually quite like to see a pub quiz afterwards. I'm going to talk to Chris about that and see if we can get one there. I mean, I suppose the thing I'd like to see would be a load of Optane drives thrown out into the audience and me being at the front with a big black sack, just filling up. Carrick needs a larger hangar to house a better attack fighter like a Cutlass. I mean, you can bring escorts with it. The Carrick's going to be reasonably good at fighting. I mean, it's effectively a military-grade explorer. That's kind of the way I look at it. Will the mechanic of permadeath be implemented in 3.0? No, it will not. There's been a lot of talk about ship theft in the verse. Are you aware of any orgs that are planning to run chop shop kind of operations? I think a lot of it depends on actually how the ship theft and fencing mechanics work. Like, is a ship, once you've stolen it, is there any way of getting rid of it without being a criminal, or is it better to just munch it up into salvage, or can you pay to have the ID changed and that sort of stuff? So we don't know the mechanics yet. People like the Matadors, they're an outlaw org. I suspect they'll be doing stuff like that. They are very much for profit pirates. Is there anything we should buy for UEC in the store now that's a good deal? I don't think so, no. I would avoid, at the moment, buying UEC or buying UEC items. At the moment. That's my suggestion. Have you playtested 3.0? Yes. I'm probably one of the most liked Star Citizen streamers out there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Archangel. Blah, blah, blah. The people want to know, is Disneyland in your in the cards for board? Yeah, why not? Thanks for thank you very much for the kind words, Archangel. I haven't played in like a year. Do you have a tutorial on how to change weapons on a ship? I think all my tutorials cover that, but it's pretty simple to change weapons on a ship. You walk over to the hard point on the ship that you want to change, literally what's on the landing pad or on your hangar, do it in your hangar, and you go up to there and you left click on it when the blue circle appears, and then you get a list of the things you can replace that with. Do it in. You have to have them, obviously, and you buy them from the website. In 2.6.3. In 3.0, you'll be able to buy them in-game without VVC. Systems and weapons and all that sort of jazz, as well as loads of new clothes and armour and all that sort of stuff for your ship and your personage. But in 3.1, you're going to be able to buy ships as well, which is good. What non-capital ships do you think will be the most fun in a capital ship / group fight? E-war ships, for me. E-war and boarding ships are going to be really exciting, I think. In actual combat. What happens to your ship when you log out? In 3.0, it will despawn with you. After 3.0, it will, if you're sleeping in a bed in the ship, it will despawn with you. Or everyone in the crew sleeping in a bed, it will despawn with you. If one of them logs back in, the ship will log back in effectively. You can't combat log in any situation, though. So players can pay for other people with pioneers to come and make outposts. Potentially there will be other other ways of asking people to come and build outposts in locations. But other than that, you won't be able to have like them dropped off in a cargo ship or anything. I don't think. Do you think the Reliant Core will be a good ship to buy? I do not like the Reliant series, mainly because of the way they fly currently. Possibly in the future they might be pretty good. Are we allowed to create our own private military corporation? Yes, my org is a PMC as well. It is Bonfinet. So it is the celebration of Parliament not being blown up and the hung, drawing, quartering and burning of a man. You know, as you do in the UK. Do you think ships with hangars will spawn ships or carry them? I think they'll carry them. Yeah, so they talked about the Reliant, the Endeavour hospital ship and hangar combo being able to spawn ships. I think they might just be able to call ships in. I'm not entirely sure how that will work. The mechanic, I think, was like someone would drive your ship in for you after you had respawned there. Obviously, the hangar itself will be able to store ships. So, potentially, not spawn ships, but have them delivered to that hangar. They have updated the ship matrix and the shirt matrix with the Polaris. You'll be able to buy ships in-game when 3.1 comes out, which will be next year at some point. We're not sure if the Cutlass Blue is worth the upgrade from the Cutlass Black at the moment. Wait until we know more about the Cutlass Black, the Cutlass Blue changes. There's no need to upgrade super quickly. In fact, in the short term, the Cutlass Black will probably go up in price, up in value before the Cutlass Blue does. So you might even be able to save money by waiting a little while and then upgrading to the Blue once you know more. If you want a ship during the holiday sale, potentially buy it. I'm very much in favour of people just having starter packages, and then if you've got spare money or you love the idea of supporting Star Citizen further, then putting some extra money in. But only in that situation. Wow, dissing my clocks, good. We don't know when the anniversary sale is. I don't know when it is anyway. It's between the 17th and 24th of November, I think. You could potentially buy an Azure and Prospector in the sale if you wanted to. I can't advise you whether to wait or not. If you want to get them at the cheapest possible price, potentially buy them now. Try if there's a concept sale for a smaller item, try and buy that with lifetime insurance on it, and then upgrade to the other ones. But there's no mining gameplay in 3.0 and 3.1 is mining gameplay. Any more questions? If there's not, I'm going to go eat. I'll put the barbecue on because it's fun. I'll stand outside, go fucking fireworks, and moan because it's cold and because it's really noisy and I want to do some audio work, but I can't. You don't need a subscription to play Star Citizen. There are voluntary subscriptions, but they don't give you anything in the way of an advantage in game. You get like hangar flair, so called aesthetic items, and that money helps support the shows they do, like ATV and some of that sort of stuff, the weekly shows. Also, I think you can occasionally get stuff earlier, and availability to ship sales and stuff earlier, but no advantages in game. They said when we buy, there will be between 4. I think it's typically 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers when you have a land claim. So with the Pioneer in UEE space, and some other space that has like private security, and there isn't fringe worlds, there isn't no security space. You will place land claims, and those land claims will be 4 by 4 kilometers, and no one else will be able to build there. Basically, that will be your area to build. That's pretty fucking big, 4 by 4 kilometers. And each of the modules that you'll build in the Pioneer will be 50 by 15. I believe we can place as many little outposty buildings as we want in our land claim. I think we can probably buy as many land claims as we want as well. But they'll be fucking expensive. The upgraded ship matrix does not list any difference in fuel capacity between combat and hauler and exploration variants. Just an oversight. What ships are you talking about in specifically? It could be an oversight. There are some mistakes in the ship matrix, definitely. I was waiting for like a week or two for it to calm down and any like mistakes to be fixed before I started looking at all the ships again properly. But the Gladius is a very interesting ship now because effectively it's got 3 size 3 hardpoints on it, which make and missiles, which make it very, very powerful. It comes fully gimbaled with size 2 weapons as standard. And using the Terrapin, potentially it could come in 3.0, but they've basically said the suggestion is it's not going to. We didn't see the internals of it either. We just saw the externals. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the love and kindness. What are your favourite and least favourite ships? Least favourite, the Reliance. Just because the way they fly, they really burnt me. That will obviously change in the future. Most favourite is the Reclaimer, just because I love the Reclaimer. Oh my fucking god. It's got treasure hunting gameplay, salvage and make money from it. It's huge. It's got drones. It looks fucking amazing. It's got a quick grindy room. It gives me nostalgia looking at it. All the UEC that was made in game, does it get reset or can I keep it? So Alpha UEC will be reset between major patches, and so will the purchases you make with them. Obviously, when the game goes live, it will be UEC, and UEC purchases will be live. They won't be reset. What are you looking forward to more? Mission-driven gameplay or player? Oh, so that's a good point. So there's going to be missions generated by NPCs and the God AI in game, which is partly player-generated gameplay for other reasons. So like players blockading stuff, players being pirates, players blowing up pirates will generate missions from the God AI to do other things. So that is sort of semi-player created missions. But there's also going to be player contracts, which will say, can you bring my ship from here to here? Can you go and kill this guy? Can you go and bring a load of materials from here to here, whatever? Or can you refuel my ship? I require rescuing, whatever. So there's going to be that kind of contract. I kind of want to see both. I think it's the mixture of the two that really interests me. I'm interested to see what sort of player missions will turn up and what will be viable. Will any other modules get any updates to 3.0? Yes. Star Marine will obviously have the changes in ships. You'll see some changes to the actual levels. And Star Marine, very certainly. Sean Noonan, before he left, did some changes to the Star Marine levels there. Obviously, you're going to have stamina added and stuff like that. There's loads of actual gameplay changes that are going to make it less run and gun and more sort of like, I need to fucking think about what I'm doing. Armour types will now matter. There's going to be a load more weapons. There's lots of stuff going in. So yes, Arena Commander and Star Marine, very much so, are going to see big changes. Well, maybe not big changes, but small changes which equate to big changes. Stamina's actually pretty big. Item System 2.0 is pretty big. Yes, big changes. No, Cyclones, as far as I'm aware, are not in 3.0. No, so they're going to start releasing more information and design documents on mechanics like medical mechanics, salvage, mining, science, all of that sort of exploration in a lot more detail, and all the subcategories of that. We just don't have too much info at the moment. There is certainly the possibility that 3.0 won't, the persistent universe won't hit in 2017. It'll be pushed to 2018. That is a possibility. I just hope that I'm hoping and I'm expecting to see it in just before Christmas. That's the hope anyway. I'm hoping it'll be there just before Christmas. I do think they will pull a lot of overtime. Are the static system wormholes always going to be there? Oh, I don't 100% know. I think they're always going to be there, and this is like a major story event. I don't think they're going to see like any mechanical gameplay degradation. Fuel tanks are the same on all Freelancers and Mustang variants. I'm not sure if that's an oversight or not. I think the Max and the Dur are supposed to have different fuel tanks and different engines and stuff, so... do you think the devs will add Planet Earth the game as a selling point? I don't know. Will they be adding more weapons and equipment for ships and your character for 3.0. Yes. It does. It's just bonfire now. There's all fucking explosions going outside my house. Fuck you! Do you think we'll see more dropships in Star Citizen? Yes, I think we'll see gunships and dropships, and I think we'll see obviously the Redeemer be reworked at some point. Just don't know when. We'll see Titan suits as well at some point. But we'll definitely see more dropships or gunships in the game. How long are the interlunar travel times in 3.0? I can't tell you about the specifics of the Evocati stuff. The intention is to make them relatively long, though. Item system 2.0, and there have been changes to the flight mechanics and traversal mechanics in 3.0, yeah. And some big changes. Little quantum jumps in addition to the big quantum jumps, second phased afterburner, ship number changes, item system 2.0 actually working, systems communicating with each other. Yeah, lots of changes. Banner Merchantman? Question mark. I expect to see it in 2018. Do you know why CIG spoke about the springy landing gear and the smoke trails recently like it was new, but already visible in game? It's just because it was like done properly. I think it was buggy before. And they like to show sort of stuff off, and they go, look, this is cool, this is what we talked about a while ago. And because we don't have the ATVs in the same way that we used to, so we don't see the studio updates in the same way, they have just like the featurettes and the burn down, so you don't see that kind of thing. So they kind of wanted to talk about it in conjunction with the procedural cities and stuff. Typically, if they didn't have these presentations and the burn down, we would have seen procedural cities and the engine trials in a lot more detail and atmospheric flight evolve in ATV. So it's annoying that we don't get to see that, actually. In the past, they mentioned that armor is on ships. Yeah, there will be armor on ships in the future. I'm not sure when that's 100% coming in. I think there's still just like a damage times multiplier for ships that have armor at the moment, like the Super Hornet will have take less damage effectively. But armor will be a component type or part of the hull or whatever, but it will be coming in the future. Evocati testing is certainly going. Once it is less buggy, once we have seen... you can see on the schedule reports how Evocati testing is going, basically. And the burn down, they do talk about it. Freelancer Max or Hull B. I would personally prefer the Freelancer Max because there's so much more that you can do with it. If you want to be a straight hauler, just haul cargo, and you want to make most profit, Hull B. Yeah, there will be missions that make dropships useful, yes, definitely. Why do meteors always land in a crater? I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's like this crater's a... When would you anticipate the release of the Aegis Eclipse? I don't know. 2018 at some point. I think that's the year of the ships, 2018. Do you think the survival mechanics will cause the game launch to be delayed a year or two, like Procedural Planets did? No. No. If they do survival mechanics, they're not going to be super heavy ones, and they're not going to be super hard to implement. Procedural Planets and Subsumption AI are what delays Star Citizen, and network code. So, survival mechanics are not going to delay it, whatever they do with them. How do you think the new quarterly release will play out? I don't know. I'm hoping they do it. I was hoping for bi-monthly releases. I mean, they've got all the tools now at their disposal. They've got the foundations with 3.0 since that's released. So they're on track to do what they say they're going to do. And they're learning not to be so pie in the sky. If there are static jump points, are there unstable ones? Potentially, yeah, but we don't know. Potentially unstable wormholes that we might be able to find. There's definitely going to be jump points that we can find that are undiscovered, and that sort of stuff. Since we've seen several iterations of the flight model, which ones were your favourite to date? Oh, I don't actually know anymore. I don't think we found my favourite yet. And what's the best place to learn how to play Star Citizen, fly my ship, etc.? You can go on mine on Uberfire's channel. We've got some good series. There's the Legacy instructional series as well on YouTube. You just go into our tutorial playlists on our YouTube pages. if you're actually saying where do I go to do it, Vandal Swarm in Arena Commander is the best place to learn to fly and shoot with your ship. And just keep on playing that. When can we expect to be able to build bases on service, and what kind of modules will be accessible at the beginning? We don't 100% know, and when we're going to be able to build them. Expect like something like maybe 3.2, 3.3, maybe. That might be a bit too optimistic. So I think 2018 at some point, late 2018 maybe. Don't know. There's lots of other mechanics they want to get in first, I suspect. But the actual modular buildings working, that's going to be coming relatively soon, I suppose. And then actually placing them. System Pioneer needs to be built. The mechanics there are quite complex for the actual construction. So I don't know. What modules you're going to be able to have? Like there's going to be mining ones, storage ones, landing pads, medical, science, research, armories, habitation, farming stuff, lots of things. Anything you can do in a ship, you can basically do in a building. I think is the idea. It might start moving over to UEC in beta, but release is definite. Do you think the planned size of the universe will be big enough for exploration? Yeah, but it's not going to be exploration in a No Man's Sky kind of exploration. There's going to be lots of things to do with exploration ships that aren't really... Exploration is kind of like a broad category of also prospecting for land sites, surveying areas, tracking down points of interest, and anomalies, lots of stuff to do with kind of slightly connected to science on planets, looking at individual planets and exploring on those planets as well as in space. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff with that exploration mechanics, and we'll see more once they do the actual design document for that. But it's not fly off in a straight line. You'll be able to do mapping as well. You'll be able to find new jump points. You'll be able to map systems and items and points of interest and stuff like that as well. And there's a lot. There's a lot. No more words on the view of the Defender other than it's been tweaked somewhat. Will we be expecting a Vanguard rework? So the Vanguard's had its cockpit reworked. Expect updates to the Vanguard, but no reworks. You'll see stats changes and stuff, definitely. What's my favourite infantry weapon? Just the ballistic rifle at the moment. It's pretty solid. What more do you need? So no, the point defense systems specifically already have the AI and blades and everything else that you need already installed. So putting a point defense system in somewhere would literally be it's already set up to do its point defensey systeminess, whether that's to shoot at fighters, shoot at missiles, shoot at torpedoes, or whatever. Whereas specifically AI modules and blades and that sort of stuff would require you to put all the modules in separately to make them work and do whatever you want them to do. So yeah, you'll be able to use AI, for people that don't know, AI modules to manually operate certain turrets and systems. This is different from NPCs. Not entirely sure what the drones on the Reclaimer do. Originally I thought they helped with salvaging, but they might do exploration and that sort of stuff. But not exploration, but detection. I think the idea was that they tracked or grabbed salvage and brought it towards you originally, but I'm not entirely sure exactly what they do now. And they might be remote operated with the rendered texture and secondary viewport tech. I currently have a Hornet Ghost for bounty hunting / infiltration, but the Sabre outclasses it in almost every way, deciding whether I should not upgrade my Ghost to the Sabre. I love the Sabre, so I'd go for the Sabre. The Ghost will be a lot more durable hull-wise. Yes, you would lose all your Alpha C UEC purchases and credits. Alpha UEC purchases and credits when 3.0 comes out, yes. Do you think there is a space for more Star Citizen content creators? Yes, fuck yes. Get more content creators. I want more, I will try and support more, and I will try and help more. Do eggs have souls? They have yolks, which are better. Question, anyone just have a starter pack here? Oh, you'll be fine with starter pack. Like people are missing out on gameplay. Let's skip ahead. There's not going to be skill trees and Star Citizen. No, it's going to be down to your personal skill at doing something. So you can outplay and learn anyone that's just started or whatever, or has been there for 5 years if you're better than them or whatever. NPCs, however, are effectively going to have stats and skills, or stats anyway, saying how good they are at certain things, because each individual NPC is effectively different. Yeah, so there are refunds available if you've bought. You have to read their terms of service and everything. You can always request from customer service about a refund, but you'll definitely get one if you've bought within 14 days or something. You just say, "Oh no, I don't like this. I'm not up for backing this project. I thought it was a full game, or whatever. I didn't realize it was this. It was an outfit one." So yeah, you can always drop customer service if you're not happy, though they can deny your refund if you obviously played it for a lot or past those 14 days or whatever. How many more gameplay mechanics do they need to flesh out? Lots. Science, repair, etc. Yes. Would you expect? There's loads. There's loads. Would you expect getting a prospector? Yeah, you could get prospector for a single player. Yeah, I think it's well worth shipping. I think it's a good amount of money to be made there as well. So let me go over actually the mechanics rather than just giving us sort of like there's loads. So what was there? There's science, boarding, capital ships, repair, economy, industry. So that's going to be mining, trade, cargo. It's fucking loads. Exploration and science are probably the biggest. Those mechanics. They're going to expand all over and do loads of different things. It's going to be overclocking and tweaking. There might be manufacture. We don't know. Base building as well now, obviously. Some forms of manufacture with drugs and stuff. Yeah, there is a fuck ton. And then we don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do with animals. Are we going to do big game hunting? Are there going to be survival mechanics? That's why we're not going to see a beta until at least late 2019. Do you think the 300 series needs a buff? The 300 series is going to have other things that aren't just weapon hardpoints. I mean, it's going to have benefits and have higher grade components. But we will do. I will do a video comparing them all. Do you know what YouTube won't let me ask questions starting with question in close brackets? No, I don't know why it won't let you, but it will let other people. Assault Reaper, you can drop customer service and ask and say, I'm not happy. Is it possible to get a refund? And they'll probably be willing to help you in a lot of situations. I'm just saying they're not technically obliged to if it's not within 14 days or whatever. I mentioned this on Reddit, but what do you think? It seems many of the NPCs' naked hands look off. Yes, I don't like the hands either. I know what you mean. It's animations and the way they look. I think they'll work on them. It's hard to do hands in games. I have Phoenix. I'm curious about the Lynx rover. I don't know much about it either. I'm suspecting that it's a slightly more exploration-y variant of the Ursa. Probably less weapons, or no weapons, better scanners, that sort of stuff. Yes, we'll certainly see better flora and fauna as we go ahead. We've seen fuck all fauna, really. We've seen the Oni crabs, and we've seen a sandworm, and yeah. Flora, they keep on iterating on the flora. But we've only really seen very sparse amounts of flora in, like, tundra-y, or moons and stuff with a low atmosphere kind of plants. We want to see like lush jungle plants eventually. So specifically, they started with Terra, which is very similar to Sol, as the system that they started in. But then they went, Stanton's kind of got a cross section of everything we need tech-wise, so let's do Stanton. I'm not sure if we're going to get a ship that builds ships in games. I think it's possibly more likely we'll get a ship that allows the deployment or building of satellites. Obviously, space is quite big. The idea is that everyone will be on the same server with server meshing in the future. We'll have to keep on that to see if that's actually what they decide, if it actually works and makes sense. It certainly makes sense, but it's whether or not it's actually practical to do. Yes, I do have a Steam controller. I got it working ages ago with Star Citizen. I haven't used it recently. We'll talk about it when 3.0 comes out again. In ETV, about 6+ months ago, they showed us new modular satellites. Since then, not a word. Updates on that. So the truck stops, for example, that we saw in this demo that's playing at the moment, that's the evolution of that. And they get more and more and more complex. Have you read Ready Player One? No, I haven't, but I will. at some point. I will answer your question then, Jahand. Can you use your ship later if you don't get lifetime insurance? If you haven't paid the insurance on your ship, which is paid with in-game credits, very small amount, then you could potentially lose your ship. Yes. Lots. Expect 8 concept sales a year until beta. So expect at least 16 to 20 more concept ships. / vehicles. Oh yeah, they're going to have pets in the game as well. There's loads of fucking shit. That's just going over like the ship stuff. There's loads of stuff for the FPS kind of aspect as well. Do you know why stealth loadouts are about minimizing energy signature and most use low energy weapons, but ensure... Oh, I would use ballistic weapons as well. I'm not sure why they don't. I think it's because they're probably trying to keep as light as possible as well when they do stealth, like interceptors and speedy ship, and that ballistic weapons are probably heavier and have to have ammo, maybe? You'll have to do a full reinstall of Star Citizen for 3.0. 3.0 is its own beast. Even if you've previously got Star Citizen installed, even though they've got Delta Patcher, you have to totally download 3.0 again, and then from then on, the Delta Patcher will work, and you only have to download significantly smaller patches. Yes, there will be defensive buildings, there will be turrets, and that sort of stuff that you can build to defend your bases. And you also have to hire NPCs and have players and that sort of stuff on the ground as well. Do you know if the Reclaimer has a ramp or lift for cargo? I believe it has a ramp, but I haven't seen that ramp. Do you think they will implement non-atmospheric helmets for breathable environments? I think that's the civilian clothing. I think as soon as you're in flight suit, well, maybe you could just not have a helmet on. I don't know. We'll be able to make space stations in null space. We don't know if we're actually going to be able to build space stations. I expect you'll be able to, but we don't know. Yeah, I think that there will be Moby-Glass games that you'll be able to play, like poker and gamble and that sort of shiz, and lots and lots of silly games. I also think there will be physics games, because you'll be able to interact with things with your hands. So, yeah, you could potentially have poker and chess. Basketball, they made a basketball game. Only as obsessed as anyone would be with their YouTube channel and, like, covering a game. I'm pretty up there with being focused on Star Citizen. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed, but I do love it. So maybe that's because I'm obsessed. I'd say that. I think I've got an appropriate level of love for it. I'm generally obsessed by computer games, most fucking certainly. Is it true that the 600i Explorer has the same scanning station as the Terrapin, but 2 instead of 1 of them? I'm not sure. I don't think it's exactly the same scanning suite. Maybe it does. We don't know exactly until stuff is fully built out. I suspect that that it's more powerful than the others, though. You mentioned 16 to 20 new concept sales before beta. Are you estimating 2 to 2.5 years before beta? Yes, that is exactly what I'm estimating. Late 2019 is what I'm expecting beta, at the earliest. I think we're about to own apartments and hangars in cities, yes. Right. No, so you were going to see a entirely redone roadmap for where features are coming in from. So we've got 3.0, and we know some stuff that's coming in 3.1. So mining, the ability to buy ships, a better use of the object container streaming, and that sort of stuff. But we don't know the rest of the 3.1's features or beyond that. So Squadron 42 and the greater roadmap, I believe, is all getting to us, or a large amount of it, in the December live stream. The greater roadmap, I suppose, beyond 3.0 for Star Citizen actually will be given to us, I believe they said, once 3.0's gone live. So don't expect that for December, the actual extended Star Citizen roadmap, expect that in like January or February. Stealth mechanics are sort of in 3.0. You have more ability to control your systems, so you can effectively stealth by managing them better because of item system 2.0. I doubt I'd take a job from CIG, although I'd see what it was. Do you know what I mean? If it was like, we want to pay you $1 million to do something, like vet our internet stuff and be our community rep, go, fuck yeah, fucking love that, I'll fucking sell the shit out. But I think there's a lot of potential money in Star Citizen. I love what I do. I suffer quite badly from anxiety and depression. So me having control over my life, well, I don't have to worry about getting fired or anything. It's just fucking great. So what I do is effectively a dream job. I get to go interact with people, play games with people, talk to people about something I love. It's awesome. So it'd have to be pretty amazing for me to move on from that. Yeah. The new turrets are the intention is to make them a lot better. So turrets that we have in 3.0 should be significantly better than you've played with before. So I don't actually know if some of those items, like the pistols and the custodian SMG that have got the special skin on and stuff, I'm not sure if they've got lifetime insurance on. I'm not sure if they can be lost or not. I will push to find out, and I will push for lifetime insurance on them. I'm really pissed off if in live build you lose them really quickly. Otherwise, I'll have to keep them in a fucking display case. Can we buy our own orbiting mining lasers? I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure not. Can you download 3.0 onto a different hard drive than one the game is already on? Probably. It will have significantly better. 3.0 will have significantly better multi-crew gameplay with turrets working better and the much better control of shields and power and piloting and them all working a lot better. It's still not going to be the full experience. It's still going to be iterated and lots more done on it. And obviously a lot of the mechanics still aren't there. And we're not going to have full scanning mechanics. We're not going to have mining and all this industry and utility stuff. When will ships be buyable through in-game currency? 3.1. Any update to the possibility of atmospheric jetpacks? No. So they want some way of surviving when you eject out of your ship in atmosphere. We're not sure how that's going to be, though. We're not sure if it's going to be jetpacks or jump boots or parachutes or whatever. Is there any info on exploration specialization of ship that will work in game? Like selling mapped points of interest. We know there's going to be mapping of some kind. We know that one of the Cyclone variants is very good at the recon one. We know that exploration ships are going to be good at mapping, but not sure exactly the mechanics of mapping. Do you think they will work in system malfunctions that cause crashes? Yeah, so your ships, power relays are going to blow, systems are going to wear out, components are going to wear out, and you're going to have to repair them. Sometimes you're going to be pulled out of quantum travel because a component's blown or a power relay's blown. You're going to have to fix that either with a hand tool or swap out components or bodge something together, take a part out of another component and put it in that one so that you've got some functionality of your ship, or call for help. Call for a crucible to come and help you. Probably the Reclaimer will probably be my best money-making ship, I think. Though I've got a reasonable amount. I don't know. We don't know until we've got the mechanics. We'll see it at some point in 2018, the first episode of Squadron 42, I believe. We will see it added to the schedule report, though, and a lot more information on Squadron 42 in the December livestream. That's going to be the focus there. Regarding griefing, will they ever implement a passive mode? Not everyone is going to have a PvP playstyle. No, but there will be systems that are significantly safer and are PvE geared, and then other systems that are PvP geared. They'll be relatively obvious. I mean, the best information on the schedule changes and text form is going to be literally straight from CIG. As long as you don't, it's not that complex either. It's not like super. It's just on the schedule report on the website. Would it be worth CCUing to Reclaimer from the Connie? See, if you have a banning merchant. See, I would CCU my Connie to Reclaimer. That's just me personally. We should see significant performance gains in 3.0. That's the intention, both in network, in the PU, but also general graphics improvements and you should see frame rate improvements across the board. Is it just me, or is the entire Hornet lineup needs a massive update in terms of textures. It's just had one, I think. Given travel time in Quantum will take a decent amount of real time. How long will jump point travel take? We don't know. They're not going to have cloaking. It's just going to be stealth mechanics, which is just going to be a mixture of your choice of components and then managing systems. You're going to be able to put things in little sub-components that make your ship more stealthy. In each of your components, like damp and things, but might wear out quickly or might damage the system they're actually in. You're going to be able to choose actual components that generate less of signatures, and you're going to be able to have like special armor and that sort of stuff that might reduce your signature even further when it's like literally black, so it looks like space because people can still see you visually. And then it's going to the rest of it's going to be literally managing your system so you're harder to detect and using the environment. Will AI pilots be able to fly ships we own as escorts? Yes, I believe so. There will be some form of limit to the amount of NPCs that you can hire and that sort of stuff. We don't know what that is yet. It will probably be performance tied. They don't want it to be entirely sim-citizened. From our point of view, we don't want it to be entirely like super micro rather than sim-citizen, because I suppose that everything is sim-citizen now, that the AI are going to have their own schedules and complex things that they want to do and stuff. Do you believe that the Titan armor will be sold or just obtainable in game? I don't know. It seems sensible for them to sell it because they'll probably sell a fuck ton of it. Can you CC your Raven to something? I don't know. I'll find out once I actually have one. I believe the ship is technically worth $200 if you upgraded it. So, do you think we'll be watching next year's CitizenCon on screen in game? Oh my god, that would be cool. I think there's the potential for that. By what standard are they taking the Stanley system? I think it's military fitness. It shouldn't change over time. That should be your character just does that. Will we have futuristic weapons? Yes. Laser guns. Laser guns! Rail guns and things. Do you think the Campbell ships like the Javelin will have some refueling and repair capabilities for fighters? Yes. On the deck. They'll come in, there'll be ability to give at least simple repairs and refueling, restocking there, if not more complex ones. Yes, I've pre-ordered my... Oh, it's coming on the 11th, I think, from Scan, my Optane drive. So we'll learn more about the Raven then, and the drive itself. I'll give a good going over, because I don't think they're going to be worth the money for what they do, but I'm going to reserve judgment. And actually use one. No, credits and purchases with Alpha UEC in-game will not carry over to the live version or anything. They'll be deleted between patches. Alpha UEC purchases, anyway. Right. I don't know. You'll certainly be able to hire a lot of NPCs to crew like an Idris or a capital ship that you've got. You'll be able to hire a whole crew for it. I doubt you're going to be able to hire 40 separate NPCs to fly individual ships escort for you. I don't think that's the intention that CIG want, but that remains to be seen. What things do you think AI will do to make them feel immersive? Will they start conversations with players? Yeah, potentially. They're certainly going to look at players. They've got that like looking and moving system now. They can start the wild lines. I think the NPCs you hire, some of them are going to be a lot more player interactive than others. But we haven't seen all of the subsumption stuff in terms of how do we interact with other NPCs that aren't these super important NPCs like Mars Eckhart. Do you think there'll be single-seat versions of repair and salvage vehicles? Their intention is to try, in most cases, to make small, medium, and large versions of each of the mechanic ships. So, yes, I suspect we will see single-seat versions of repair and salvage at some point. Yes, I do. I have my M2 drive, which I think is a Samsung 960 Pro. Where does the Sabre have 3 power plants? To get to the other side? Because there's redundancy and stuff. It has 3 small power plants. That's what it has. If I had my Vandal Scythe converted into a glaive, does that make me a bad person? No, because I actually think that the Scythe's rarer, but the glaive is better. Can you link the page so that you can see how big the ships are? Yep. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Ship sizes redone. Obviously, there's a ship matrix as well, which you can find here. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. I am going to go and I fucking love you, DC. We're gonna me and DC. I'm gonna eat, and then me and DC are gonna play some like Counter Strike or something, Or PUBG. I love you, DC. Love you. At some point, DC will be electrocuting me with reality shocks, which people will probably enjoy. Will cybernetic replacement limbs be able to be augmented? There's something going on with them. Like there will be like cybernetics and stuff, but they might just be aesthetic. So, or show how much damage your character's got. But you might be able to get some augments from them and stuff. Well, I don't. Do you think we'll be able to trade annoying NPCs we have purchased? You're not going to really purchase people, you're going to kind of hire them. And I suspect you'll be able to get rid of them. Which mechanic are you most looking forward to besides salvage mechanic? Mining. Medical boarding, there's lots. I'm going to go in a second. How does having multiple game packs work? Yeah, so the idea is that you'll have multiple characters.
So many spaceships.
Thank you very
A
much.
little help for the stream.
Oh, you fucking legend. Mozzie DK, Moze DK, I fucking love you. Thank you so much for the money. That's very much appreciated. Going into the ships fund for the strands, for the contents. So having multiple game packs gives you basically multiple character slots. What do they need? Specialist landing areas at cities for cargo, civilians? Yes, they will have hero landing zones and specialist landing zones for those things. Cities aren't going to be fully explorable. They're going to be large areas of them explorable, and there's going to be loads of landing areas on those large city planets as well, like Area 18, but also areas 1 to 18, probably, with those specialist kind of cargo pads where you get your cargo loaded on and off and stuff. If you go into my Discord, tips for getting a new PC, we're talking about PC builds and stuff on there. There is actually a thread for it, which I'm going to start to come into. I started the other day, but I haven't had time yet. Potentially play PUBG with us. Jump on Discord. I think we probably four-manned. Even if we play PUBG, I'm going to eat first. 07 is a salute. It's supposed to be a dude saluting. Speaking of the Raven, is it not available in some countries as retailers won't ship it? Yes, I do think CRG dropped the ball on that. I think it only has 2 months insurance as well, which I was expecting it to have lifetime insurance. I think all the promo ships should have lifetime insurance just to make people happy. Also, I think there shouldn't be promo ships, but I'm very juxtaposed with that. Yes, there is potentially significantly better gains and optimization for 3.0. It's definitely more optimized. I'm just not sure of real gains when I have a live build. Do you think it would be more efficient to use a stick and throttle setup if that's what you want? I think stick and throttle or dual stick is very, very powerful, very good. Mouse and keyboard is just simpler to use. How much would you personally estimate the cost of Reclaimer with in-game credits? I have no fucking clue. Will the Arc City be interactive? Yeah, you'll be able to walk around it. There's going to be large explorable cities. It's just not going to be the entire city explorable internally. It's going to be large areas of it that are, but... Is the Cutlass Blue equipped with EMP weapons? I don't believe so. No, but you will be able to equip it with some EMP weapons, or like the I can't remember what they're fucking called. The sucker punches. What is the next ship to give away? It is for a Pioneer, the big base building ship, donated by the Matadors, who are our featured org. You can find links to the Matadors below. They are a pirate outlaw org, and they are going to be active in 3.0, and they are for-profit pirates. They give very the opposite coin, the opposite side of gameplay for a lot of players. I think it's just important to talk about them. Will you fly to space to reverse quickly around planets, or is there a form of fast travel while in Atmo? Yeah, so you can kind of do... there's two things. You can do mini quantum jumps, mini quantum travel jumps which are very quick to move between medium-sized distances. You can also go into second stage afterburner. So once you've got up to your maximum speed, you go into effectively super cruise, which allows you to take good distances pretty quickly. I actually like the idea of real advertising in game from like people like Coca-Cola and Intel, as long as it's all done in lore in game. So they make their own company in game, and it's all done in lore. I think that will add extra flavour to the verse. It will have some high-quality ads, and it will make Star Citizen a lot of money, which means they don't have to do other weird shit. It saves us money as the consumer. Can AI fly as wingman on missions? Yes. Will we be able to smoke and chill out on a planet in future? Probably. Why not? I think actually most places avoid smoking, though, don't they? Right. I Oh, will the ECM device in the Raven be different from the ECM device on the Warlock? Yeah, they're different types. So there's two burst EMP generators that take up size 4 missile slots on the Raven. We don't actually know how they work. The Warlock, we've sort of seen how it works. It's been in game previously, which is like a big pulse and disables everything, including itself. Will you be able to send your ship away and call it back so that it isn't left unattended in space? I believe so. So I think you can get NPCs to concierge or bring your ship over. You probably do it with AI modules and stuff as well. I think you're able to call them in, ships in to certain places. I'm not sure if it costs you money and stuff. I'm not entirely sure how that will work. But I think I think like with the Endeavour, for example, you'll be able to call ships into the hangar. Like you'll use the Hope class Endeavour, which is the hospital thing. You could potentially have a player respawn there and go, fuck, I'm here. I've got a ship. I'd call my ship in. Yes, this game will come out. Probably. Right, I am going to go and eat because it's bonfire night. And then fuck you, bonfire night! And all the explosions you can hear around me. And then I'm going to chill out. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If I can love your faces. I'll try and jump on tomorrow, answer some more questions. And look at some other stuff. Check out my videos because I love you and you're the best. And yeah, it's dinner. It's not lunch. 7:30. So you take care, guys, and I'll see you in the verse. And we're going to go host someone, actually, don't we? Let's go host someone. Oh, no, what's going on? No. Why is... Behind the scenes, to me, just panic while I can't work out how to click on things. Who is online? Got Uber Nerds. Is Crash Academy, are they in English today? Normally German, aren't they? Yeah, that's German.
Aber das ist halt Wiesen.
Yeah. I think we'll jump on to Ubernerd. Just double check, make sure no redacted members are streaming. Can't see anyone. Love your faces, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Very much appreciated. Take care. Enjoy yourselves. Be good. If you can't be good, then bolt starships for me. Spaceships. Whatever they fucking good. Have a happy 5th of November Bunny Quarter Man not blowing uppy Parliament Bonfire Night Day. I'm not sure if people have it anywhere else in the world. I suppose you don't because it's a British holiday. There you go, guys. See you soon. We're going to go watch this guy. We're playing Star Citizen. Mwah.